Okay folks, part 2 on our discussion about changing the transmission fluid in the Honda 2010 Odyssey. Now, just to update you, the pan is dripping underneath. I did get the plug out. This is what the plug looks like. And you can see, like I said, it's recessed, so you just put the 3/8 drive into that to get it out. And then also on this side of it, this black on the top here, that's actually a magnet. It's designed that as filings or other metal flecks that might be floating around the transmission fluid go by it, that it captures them. And if you look at my rag here, you can see some of the dirt that I wiped off. You want to clean that off good, and that's not a bad thing. It means it's doing its job to keep the transmission free from any kind of wear. As you can see, I put the new crush washer on here. So that's ready to go back in, and as soon as that's finished dripping, I will do it. Now, I had one problem with getting this drain plug off, and it was on so tight that the 3/8 inch socket, I just couldn't reach under there well enough to torque it hard enough. So what I ended up doing is I got a 1/2 inch drive socket, and I put this reducer on. It's a 1/2 inch to 3/8. And that was about the right distance apart, but I still couldn't torque it hard enough. So what I ended up having to do is going to the old standby. I got my hammer out, managed to crawl under there enough that I could get both arms under, held onto the drive socket with one hand, and then just tapped on the socket until it loosened, or the ratchet, until it loosened the nut. Once I got it to what they call break, not break as in broken, but the connection to break, then it came off very easily, and then I just used the 3/8 to finish it. But because this hadn't never been taken off before, it was on pretty tight. I ran into the same issue with the fill plug here. As you can see, I did get it out though. That's the fill plug. It's nice and clean on the underside there. Same problem, even with this socket down and 2 hands to torque on it, still didn't want to go right, so I had to bang on the handle with my hammer to break that connection. Again, once it did, then it was very easy to come off. Another thing that I just wanted to fill you in on, getting this funnel down in there was not an easy task. It's tight quarters, and I basically had to keep working it till I got it down, so I was sure that it was actually inside the hole, so that when I pour transmission fluid down the funnel, I won't have to worry about it going all over the engine. So it is in place now, but as you can see, it's kind of wedged in there. It'll come back out for me, but it didn't just slide down easily. It's very tight quarters, but the funnel is the right size to fit, so don't worry about that. Just get it in any way that you can without damaging anything, and then you're good to go. Now my next move will be, I'll check underneath to see if it's finished draining. As soon as it is, I'll put the plug back in, and I'll start the filling process on this, and then we'll see what happens. Like I said, 3.3 quarts is what they say. What I will do is I will put 3 quarts in, and then I will drop the car off the jack so that it's sitting level, and then I'll turn the engine on. I'll slowly go through all the gears in the automatic transmission, turn the engine back off, and the dipstick to check the transmission fluid is, well, it's hard to see there. Let me see if I can find my flashlight. It's up here in the front of the engine. If you've ever checked it, you know where it is, but it's right down in there, that little yellow handle there. You just pull that up, and then I can see if I need to add that 0.3 quarts to it to fill it up. You want it to be full in the working range, of course. Now the other thing that they suggest is, when you think you have it about full, also take the car for a drive somewhere for a couple miles, and then come back, check your fluid again to make sure that, first of all, the transmission is shifting properly for you, which shouldn't be a problem, and then also that your level is correct. And then if you have to add a little more, well, then you can add it at that point. But that's going to be the plan as soon as I get this filled up. So we'll be back to you when we're done.